Farm Small, Farm Smart Daily is part of the Modern Grower Podcast Network. Check out some of our other shows like Carrot Cash Flow, the Growing Microgreens Podcast, and Farm Small, Farm Smart. Learn more about the shows using the link below. If we think about a lot of agricultural soils being out of balance on the bacterial side for crops like vegetables, could we go the other way and go out of balance on the fungal side when it comes to growing vegetables? Could we create a too much fungus problem? One popular method of gardening now is the wood chip or back to Eden gardening method. A lot of people use it. A lot of people say they get great results. And I think they look at their garden and they think it looks great. It makes them feel great. The results are anecdotal. They're not doing any sort of real analysis there. But by adding all these wood chips on top of the soil, could you be creating a problem by providing too much fungal food and thereby creating a soil that's out of balance towards the fungal side of things?
Yeah, and you can do that because, think about what I was just talking about with the successional process. If you want to grow bushes, shrubs, you want to get that that bacterial to fungal ratio, like 2 times to 5 times more fungi than bacteria. Okay, that means this is not really good for growing tomatoes. Don't try to grow your tomatoes in this because they're going to be hurting for certain kinds of nutrients. You really want that almost equal fungi to bacteria, but slightly on the fungal side to grow tomatoes. So if you're constantly putting wood chips or other fungal foods into that soil, sooner or later, you're going to go over the edge into something where you've got too much fungi. So you're not seeing as good a growth. Your tomatoes aren't as happy. Your corn isn't as happy. Your barley, your oats, things like that the hay in your pasture are not doing so well. That means you've gone too far. Well, what if it's the other way around? You don't have enough. Yeah, you got to get it into the proper balance for the plant that you're trying to grow. And so let's stop putting the wood chips into your garden bed, right? Because you've gone over that edge. Or what if you realize this and it's like, well, but I really need to have great tomatoes. And I promised everybody the most delicious tomatoes they've ever had. What do you do to switch this around? Really, the simplest thing to do is to go get some blackstrap, non-sulfured molasses, because that is bacteria food par excellence. You want to get those bacteria revved up and get them going, you just put a very small amount of molasses into the soil, and you'll see your bacteria starting to bounce up. So if you were here, you're going to be here pretty rapidly. Don't overdo it. Get too many bacteria, now you're growing weeds. So you've got to be careful as you're doing some of these things. And that's where the microscope becomes so easy to give you the answers that you need. You take a sample of that soil, put it on the microscope, and now you look at the balance of the bacterial and the fungal biomass, and you know that you should not be putting on any more molasses, right? Or you haven't quite put enough. Next year, don't put the wood chips in at the high concentrations that you have been putting the wood chips in.
That totally makes a lot of sense. And I think it is a case of too much is not necessarily too much of a good thing. It's maybe this is a guy thing, but it's like when you go to do laundry and you pour the laundry detergent into the little cup and the lines right at the bottom, and you kind of look at that and say, that's not enough. And you just pour more in and suddenly you have a Brady Bunch overflowing washing machine moment. And it is important to limit what you're putting in, but it's also, I'm realizing, important to know what you're putting into the soil, what it's actually doing when it gets to the soil. And you can't see that with your eyes. You can't look at the soil and tell. You can look at the plants or maybe analyze the plants and have some idea of what's going on in the soil, but you can't see into the soil. And I'm realizing the importance of a microscope here and how that can actually help you see what's happening in the soil so you can get some idea of what you're working with, what you're starting with, so you can adjust from there and you're not just pouring stuff onto the soil or layering stuff onto the soil, flying blind, not really knowing if you're adding what you need or not. Hey there, guess what? If you're a farmer, you can have your low tunnels paid for by the NRCS. They have this cool new program where farmers can get $4 to $5 for each square foot to help with a Quick Hoops low tunnel system, frames and fabric included. It's like free money to help you grow more stuff on your farm. Want to learn more about Quick Hoops and the NRCS program? Click on the link below.